All right, so I recently purchased myself a Plyomat for a Christmas present. Before the Plyomat, all of my jump data and numbers have been collected using the Vertec. And with the Vertec, my counter movement PR is 31.5 inches, and my approach jump PR is 32.5 inches. And on a given day, I'll jump anywhere from 27 to 30 inches, depending on the day with the Vertec. And the Plyomat has humbled me greatly because regardless of the type of jump or the day, I'm struggling to break 22 inches on the Plyomat. So obviously there's a discrepancy between the two tools. So naturally my thought was, well, I have to set up the Plyomat underneath the Vertec and rip some jumps and compare the data and try to come to a conclusion of which device is more accurate. So that's what we're doing today. I also have the 20-inch box set up next to this whole setup, just so I can look at it on camera and just have a point of reference and see where my feet are in relation to the top of the 20-inch box, and maybe that'll sway me one way or the other, what seems closer, and help me draw a more accurate conclusion. So we'll rip some jumps and we'll collect some data, and then I'll discuss why it's relevant, if it's relevant, and that's that. Let's jump. Yes. All right, the numbers are in, and after a bunch of jumps, I have my highest jump with the Vertec coming in at 25.5 inches today, and my highest jump with the Plyomat coming in at 21.3 inches today. So we have a 4.2 inch discrepancy between the two tools. Not a great day of jumping. I'm a little bit detrained and a little bit heavy right now. Anyways, as far as accuracy goes, just looking at the video and where my feet were in relation to the top of the box, it appears that I was right about at the top of the box with the bottom of my feet. So that leads me to believe that the Plyomat 21.3 number is probably the more accurate one. This is a 20-inch box. I'm concluding that the Plyomat is probably the more accurate tool. So what does this all mean? Does it matter? Is it relevant? For testing purposes, data collection, tracking improvement over time, it doesn't matter which test you use, because at the end of the day, we're just looking to see improvement. As long as you stay consistent with whichever modality you choose to use for your testing, improvement is improvement. So the number itself doesn't really matter. We just want to see over time higher and higher numbers. So for data collection, I don't think it really matters. For training, the actual training and producing high outputs, I think both tools are a great option because they do incentivize athletes or elicit higher outputs from athletes. And what I mean by that, it's great to jump on the jump mat. You see your score. The next time you want to try to beat that score. So it makes athletes produce higher outputs, which ultimately is going to give us results over time. And the same is true for the Vertec. Kids love jumping. I love jumping and trying to reach a higher stick each time. So the Vertec in the same way will produce a high output. There's a very clear goal. There's very clear tangible improvement. You get to the next stick. So that's going to produce some higher outputs and ultimately good results over time. As far as the relevance of accuracy, what does the actual number of your verticals, does that number actually matter when it comes to performance? Well, no, it doesn't, because with your sport performance, you either get the task done or you don't. That is the measure of whether or not you're performing well. Can you dunk the basketball? And yes, I'm definitely going to use this as an excuse to show a clip of me dunking a basketball. Can you dunk the basketball? Can you jump up to the net in volleyball and make the block? If you're a shortstop in baseball, can you jump up and can you catch that line drive? Can you achieve the task? So when those tasks arise or those jobs come up in sport, it doesn't matter what your vertical is. It's can you get the task done or can you not get the task done? So does the accuracy of your actual vertical really matter? Probably not. It's more important, can you get the job done or not? And then beyond that, we just consider, well, it's cooler to say that you have a 30-plus inch vertical. I enjoy saying that I have jumped 30 inches with the Vertec. I definitely have not jumped 30 inches with the Plyomat, which is probably the more accurate measure, but it's a lot cooler to say I've jumped 30 inches. And it's really cool to say you've jumped 40 inches. Are these athletes actually hitting these numbers? Well, I don't know. Did they do it on the Plyomat? How accurate is it? I don't know. I'm pretty sure the Vertec is still the standard tool that they use at the combine for all those measurements. If we want to get into a discussion of why is this inflated numbers? Well, we can get into the positions of the body and the shapes that you can make in the air and how much you can extend your trunk, your shoulder, your reach in the air versus just that standing reach baseline measurement. So if you're a football player and you're sending numbers out to a recruiter and you want to tell them you're vertical, probably best to do the Vertec test and send them the bigger number. It probably looks better, and I'm sure that's what most of you do. But again, ultimately, we think of like what is the actual relevance of the data other than just showing improvement over time for training. And then as far as performance goes, can you get the task done in the game or can you not get the task done in the game? So in conclusion, based on just what I did today, I would say the Plyomat is the more accurate tool. The Vertec is going to show you some cooler numbers, but if you really are concerned with the accuracy of your vertical, I think the Plyomat's the way to go. If you want to put out some cooler numbers, then the Vertec is the way to go.